Good morning, beautiful humans. I am Dominique Brits. I am a family-centered life coach and teacher. Welcome to this talk about being inspired and being intimidated. Now, this talk is about how to have those conversations with your children. So throughout our lives, we are influenced by people, from our parents to our siblings to our cousins, our aunts, our uncles, so any family member, to friends, to actors and actresses, to athletes, musicians, and we are constantly inspired, or should I say influenced, by these people, by people around us. Now, there's two types of being influenced or influences. So you've got your positive and your negative. So let's talk extremes. Your positive are your happy, helpful, successful people. Your negative influences are more of the, I'm going extreme, drug dealers, prostitution, down that road. Okay, so those are extremes. But now let's talk about things happening in our daily lives. So you've got people who inspire us, which is your positive, and people who intimidate us, which is your negative. And there are different ways to help you identify who inspires you and who intimidates you. To be inspired, you are drawn to that person. You are wanting to be around that person. You look up to that person. To be intimidated is that you feel obliged. It's more of an obligation to be around that person. And it's more like a guilt if you're not around that person. And as adults, we are able to tap into that a little bit more, because we are older, we are more experienced, we understand that pathway. But for our children, they may not understand that. They may not understand whether they are being inspired or whether they are being intimidated. So let's break this down. What is the conversations that we need to have with our children? And I say conversations because a once-off conversation doesn't work. As parents, it is consistent. It is always having conversations until they start to think for themselves and understand and experience that for themselves. And even when they start to experience that and start to consistently implement that into their lives, there is still conversation to have. And sometimes as parents, we think, well, we've had 2 or 3 conversations and they said they get it and now they're not putting that into their lives. It doesn't work like that. We know that. So how do we expect our children to know that? Okay, so you'll hear me saying this many times. So let's talk about those many conversations to have. Now, the first thing we notice is their behavior. Okay, so now we're looking at the iceberg scenario, right? The tip of the iceberg, 10%, their behavior. The 90% that you don't see is their emotions and their feelings, okay? But the first thing you're going to notice is their behavior. What has changed? What is shifting within your child since they've watched more TikTok, since they have gained a new friend, since they've changed a school? What is that behavior like? Are they happier? Are they more joyful? Are they more open? Or are they more anxious? Are they shutting down? Are they becoming more angry? What is that behavior that you are noticing, that you are wondering what is going on? And there are many, many factors that could be happening. Okay, but this topic is specific on influences, inspiration, people who inspire you, and people who intimidate. So if they've got a new friend and all of a sudden they're starting to change, their behavior is changing. What is changing about their behavior? Then you start noticing their attitude. Are they rolling their eyes more? Are they shutting the door in your face? Are they more engaging? Are they embracing connection? What is their attitude towards you and towards that person that they have been now connecting with? And the last thing is really about their confidence. Has their confidence boosted or is their confidence less? And confidence doesn't necessarily mean that they're wearing more makeup and wearing more out there clothes. Okay, please notice that. That is not more confidence, that's being influenced, if that's not how they were before. Okay, so these conversations are, hey, I've really noticed that you're much happier with this friend. Like, what is it about them that makes you happy? Or, again, a very uncomfortable conversation is, I've noticed since you've become friendly with this person, you become more angry. Is everything okay? Like, what's going on around there? What is that relationship like? And we talk about our role models. And I think that word, especially to our teens and our kids, is kind of like a little bit far-fetched. And I say far-fetched because a role model must be a famous person, because that's how we're brought up. It must be someone that's famous and has got lots of money, whereas it doesn't necessarily have to be that. So the conversation is really about you noticing their behavior. You noticing that they're crying a lot more. You noticing that their marks have dropped. And it's not a criticism. And tell them that it's not about your marks. There's something more to what's going on. Our children, our teens are bombarded with pressure. And to find people that influence positively, who inspire them, is such a magical tool and such a magical environment for them to be in. And when you notice that at any point in time that a friend has inspired them, that a friend has got them to study a little bit harder, showed them how to do something new on their computer and they were not interested before. When you start to notice that behavior and start to praise that behavior, they're going to notice the influence, the positive influence of this person. And when you notice the negative behavior, they are going to notice that they want to be more drawn to that person. So the conversation that needs to happen needs to be non-judgmental, non-critical. No pointing fingers. Trust me, I was a teacher for almost 20 years. I know this finger. Okay? You will have your teen completely shut down to you. You will have your child shut down to you. Open this door of vulnerability and allow them to see that you are human and you can have a conversation with them. You are a parent. You are not a bodyguard. You are not the police. So when someone is inspiring them, make them see it. When someone is intimidating them, guide them, support them, help them to see that they are being understood without saying a word. Their behavior is telling you they need help. They need guidance. When I was a teen, I had no idea if I was being inspired or if I was being intimidated. And I'd just like to share the story with you. Last night, I was just in a really bad space, as we all have moments of just being negative and feeling sorry for ourselves and life is terrible. And my husband says to me, "Who inspires you?" And I was like, "No one. No one inspires me. I'm just intimidated by everybody." In that moment, I felt intimidated by everybody. In that moment, because I was feeling negative, because I didn't feel motivated, because I didn't get what I wanted, I was feeling intimidated. So in that moment, I was in a negative spiral. So asking me that question just didn't do it for me. And if that is a response from a almost 40-year-old woman, you can only imagine the response from your teen. Okay, from your child. So if they are in a negative spiral, it's not your space to try and bring them out of it and go, "That person is a bad influence on you." They probably already know that. They probably already don't want to even be in the relationship. But because you're saying it, mom, dad, they're going to rebel against you because that's what they do. Don't get them in that space. If they're angry and offish and shut down and sad, just hold them, support them while you're feeling really angry. It's okay. It's okay for you to feel angry. It's okay for you to feel sad. Do you know what's bothering you? Sometimes when I'm angry, I don't even know what's bothering me. So when you're ready to talk, let's talk about it. And then when they are in a happier space, that's when you bring in examples. You bring in your own stories of when you were influenced, positively and negatively. Allow them to learn from your experiences, your faults, your disasters, your failures. Open that door for them. You know, I had a friend at school who was amazing, but I didn't really want to be around them, but I felt obliged to be around them. I felt like I had to be around them. Am I being inspired or am I being intimidated? Now that I think about it, I was intimidated. And that's okay. But nobody guided me. Nobody shared that with me. Nobody shared how I was feeling because I didn't know how I was feeling. So take those moments, take those happy moments when you're chatting on the bed and snuggling and the lights are dim and there's no form of intimidation happening. There's no threat because you're sitting at the dining room table and the light is there like you've been, like on those detective movies, you know. Make the environment beautiful and get them to share their experiences with you. Show them the difference between being inspired and being intimidated. And there may be friends that inspire them and intimidate them, but help them to identify when they are inspired and when they are intimidated. I hope this helps. I hope that you can have these amazing conversations with your children. And it is ongoing. Don't quit. Don't think that it doesn't work because you've had 4 and they haven't changed. They're listening. Give them time to process. Give them time to practice it. Give them time to take in what is being said. I hope you all have the most beautiful day. and we will chat soon. Bye.